nepalnews.com. News from Nepal as it happens.
Nepali Congress had earlier submitted memorandum to the United Nations Mission in Nepal UNMIN for the re-verification process of the Maoist combatant following the disclosure of the Maoist step, where its chairman Pushpakamal Dahal revealed the real strength of the PLA to be less than verified. However, NC leader Dr. Ramsaran Mahat, a member of the Army Integration Special Committee, has made it clear that his party is not demanding re-verification of the Maoist combatant, but wants a thorough review on the verification process. Mahat, who has been expressing serious reservation on the PLA verification process and the UNMIN's role, talks to Kishore Pauril of Nepal News.
Why is Nepali Congress is demanding re-verification process of the Maoist combatants while the peace process is going ahead?
We have not exactly demanded re-verification, but what we have said that the whole issue must be reviewed again. It is now proven fact. It is a proven fact that the actual number of Maoist combatants were much less than the number verified by the UN. After the revelations from the videotape of Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda, he himself admits in that videotape that they didn't have more than 7,000 to 8,000 combatants. But after verification, they were able to push the number to so many more times, many more fold. This clearly shows the verification was flawed. The verification was defective, which resulted in expanding the number of combatants. That is why the whole thing needs a fresh look, and when it comes to integration and rehabilitation, the actual number should be ascertained, which could be integrated into the system.
NC has demanded the re-verification process on the basis of recently released Prachanda's Shaktikhor video, but the Maoist side have clarified that the video was the different context. What is your opinion about this?
The context is not different, because Prachanda made that speech, which was recorded in the video, after 1 year of the signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. So the videotape did not relate to the time of insurgency. As I said, the video was recorded 1 year after the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. So they were already in the system. They were preparing for the election. So they can make all sorts of excuses, they can give all sorts of reasons for this number. But the real number is, as he said, 7,000 and 8,000. They can say that we had more than 100,000 combatants. All our workers are combatants. They have every right to say that. But the real number, as it has come out by his own admission, this was the speech he made in front of his commanders, in front of his cadres. So that is the real number. Everybody knows that. And that was the figure Prachanda mentioned to our leaders also. It is not just the video tape revelation. Even prior to that, in so many other meetings, conversations, Prachanda was saying that the actual number of the people to be integrated were something like 5,000 to 7,000 number. 5,000 to 7,000. That was the number given. But in course of the verification, UNMIN made such an elaborate, methodology to verify, and it was easy for many more to be, verified, to be registered as combatants. This is the gift of UNMIN to Nepal.
At the verification time, your party or Nepali Congress was leading the government. But why didn't your party raise about the arms and the number of combatants at that time?
You see, we did raise, even if you read the newspaper of those times, many of us have said that these Maoists are bringing people from all over the country, from schools, from villages, to be registered as combatants. This was a common knowledge. We were raising that voice. This has been reported in the newspaper. But since the whole responsibility was given to UNMIN, and UNMIN being a part of the UN agency, we could not interfere in their functioning.
Don't you think the re-verification process can delay the writing new constitution and derail the peace process?
No, I didn't say re-verification. Re-verification would take a long time. They will find another excuse. The problem will be further prolonged. So we have not, of course, people are demanding re-verification and there are valid reasons for that. But we have not formally demanded re-verification. We have said that this needs a fresh look, fresh review.
You have questioned the UNMIN report recently submitted to the UN Security Council. What are the main issues with you about it?
UNMIN's report is not balanced. There is a tilt in UNMIN's report. It could have been deliberate, it could have been inadvertent. I want to give the benefit of doubt to UN UNMIN that they made many inadvertent mistakes. Factually, there are some factual errors also. You know, UN is a neutral agency. We expect highest degree of impartiality, independence, and integrity from the UN, which as an institution, UN represents. But reading the report, we found that Nepal's events, the recent events of Nepal, pertaining to the Maoist action to sack the army chief and others and involving the president. The report was not fair and balanced. The report gave full story, full justification for the government's action, for Maoist action. But the other side of the story, the president's version and the army's version, which has been supported practically by all parties except the Maoist, has not been given proper coverage, has not been reported properly. So we said that it should be corrected. And there are some factual errors also, like the report said the Prime Minister had received the consent of the main opposition party, Nepali Congress also, to sack the Army General, which was never the case. We opposed from day one. When the government sought explanations from the army chief, we knew that the real intention was to sack him. We started opposing the move. We started to oppose the move to sack Katwal, even the move to seek, explanation, because the explanation was an excuse to sack the general. We are not opposed to seeking explanation on normal issues. But the real intention, real purpose behind seeking seeking explanation was to sack the general, was to oust him. So we opposed in the parliament, in the press, by our party central committee decision. But the UN says that initially Nepali Congress also had given consent to sack the general. Later on the power equation changed and all that, they backed out. So that is not fair.